Good morning, all of you. How are you all today? Are you all fine? Give me a smile then. Vinisha, Vivesh, Amatul. Have you all done your holidays homework? Give me a thumbs up if you have done your homework. No one has done? Very good. Vinisha, very good. Amatul, good. What about the others? Vaishnavi, Aishwarya, Harshida. It's very important to do your homeworks. Don't forget that if you haven't finished, you get it finished as early as possible. Okay. Shall we start our session today? Are you all ready? Yes, Vaishnavi is giving a good reply. Vaishnavi, can you smile once? Very good, very good, very good. So, Unit 2, Be Reading the Cry of Children, written by Elizabeth Browning. And the aim of this lesson is to make you understand the social issues of our country. And our today's agenda is introduction of the topic, vocabulary, explanation of the poem, and at the end of the session, I will give you a small homework. And first of all, we will go ahead with the vocabulary section. The first word is weary. What do you mean by weary? Weary, it means tired and lost all the strength. Weary, it means tired and lost all the strength. So see the example sentences here. They felt weary. They felt very tired after all their hard work. So they were doing some work. They were doing some hard work. So they felt very tired. So they felt very tired and lost all their strength after all their hard work. See the second sentence here. She suddenly felt old and weary. The woman, she suddenly felt old and very tired. So this word is a very common word. You have to keep it in your mind. Weary, it means tired and lost all the strength. They felt weary after all their hard work. She suddenly felt old and weary. Let's move on to the next slide, meadows. What do you mean by meadows? Land that is covered with grass. Meadows, it means land that is covered with grass. Would you like this land? What do you do if you see such a meadow? You will call your friends and you will go out and play a lot of games there, isn't it? So we all love such kind of a place, meadows. Meadows, it means land that is covered with grass. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Merely. Merely, it means only. Merely, it means only. I merely wanted to see it. I only wanted to see it. I merely wanted to see it. It means I only wanted to see it. Men do not desire. Men do not desire merely to be rich. Men do not desire only to be rich, but to be richer than other men. If we are rich, are we satisfied? No, we are not satisfied. We wanted to be richer than our neighbor maybe. Isn't it? If our neighbor is a rich person, we wanted to be richer than him. So men do not desire merely to be rich. Men do not desire only to be rich, but to be richer than other men. So the meaning of the word merely is only. The next word is sorely. Sorely. Sorely, it means in a painful manner. In a painful manner. See, Jim will be sorely missed. Jim will be painfully missed. It may be a function, a celebration, a festival. It means it gives him a little pain. It gives him a little pain. Jim will be sorely missed. See the next sentence. John will be sorely missed by his family and friends. John might have been to abroad. He went abroad. So John will be sorely missed in a painful manner. He missed by his family and friends. Drooping. Drooping, it means hanging downward. Hanging downward. The flowers were drooping in the heat. The climate is very hot, so that the flowers were drooping. Drooping, it means hanging downward. These plants are drooping. These plants are drooping. They want water. These plants are not getting water, so that they are drooping. It means they are hanging downward. Pale, not bright or light in color. She was pale with fear. She was not bright with fear. Her face looks pale. It means that her face looks not bright. She is not happy. She has a pale face. She has a pale face. It means her face is light in color. Maybe because she's unhappy. There may be an unpleasant situation around her. That's why she looks so pale. You look pale when you attend a class without writing your homework, isn't it? Or when you come to the school, you will be very happy without writing your homework? No. So she was pale with fear. You may be pale with fear when you don't write your homework and attending your class. Okay. So once again, we will go through the vocabulary section. See here, weary, it means tired and lost all the strength. They felt weary after all their hard work. She suddenly felt old and weary. The next word, meadows. Meadows, it means the land that is covered with grass. You can see the picture there. And the next word is merely. It means only. I merely wanted to see it. It means I only wanted to see it. Men do not desire merely to be rich, but to be richer than the other men, sorely, in a painful manner. Jim will be sorely missed. John will be sorely missed by his family and friends. And the next word is drooping. Drooping, it means hanging downward. The flowers were drooping in the heat. These plants are drooping. They want water. Pale, not bright or light in color. She was pale with fear. She has a pale face. So here we go. The poem is titled as The Cry of Children, which was written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. She was a very famous poet. And about the poet, before we get into the poem, we will learn something about the poet. Elizabeth Barrett Browning was born in 1806 and she died in 1861, was a great poet of English language. So she wrote poems in English language. She published a collection of poems. Sonnets from the Portuguese, Aurora, the Seraphim, and other poems. So her main poems were sonnets from the Portuguese. What do you mean by sonnet? Sonnet, it means a poem which consists of only 14 lines. Maybe 14 lines or below 14 lines. Such type of poems are called sonnets. So her main poems were sonnets from the Portuguese, Aurora, the Seraphim, and other poems. She has written many poems. Among those poems, these three were the most famous. So don't forget her name, Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Okay, let's learn something more about her. So when she was in Italy, she was in Venice. You could see her in this picture, in the first picture. And Elizabeth Barrett Browning and Robert Browning, maybe her husband. She married Robert Browning. Yes, it's her husband only. You can see in that picture. She married Robert Browning, a famous English poet, and moved to Italy. So even though she was born in UK, United Kingdom. She married Robert Browning, a famous English poet, and moved to Italy. Most of her poems deal with the human emotions. So you can see in her most of her poems which deals with the human emotions. Okay, here we go. The first line. Say the children, we are weary. You can see, and before starting the lesson, I would like to tell you one more thing. In 18th century, in England, a lot of children were deployed in coal mines as laborers. A lot of children at the age of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they were deployed in coal mines to work. They have to work very hard, a lot of physical work. They didn't go to the school. So Elizabeth Barrett Browning has seen such situation, and she has written this poem to help them. Say the children, we are weary. What do you mean by we are weary? We are very tired. We lost all the strength. You could see in this picture children working very hard. Are you doing any hard work at home? The only work that you do is eating, isn't it? So here the children are different. So you could see those children, they are working very hard. They are doing a lot of hard work, especially in coal mines. In coal mines work, it means it is very, what we can say, very difficult work, as well as it is very dangerous as well. Say the children, we are weary, we are very tired with the work. And we cannot run or leap like other children. We are unable to run or jump. Leap, it means jump. Why? From morning onwards, they have been working from morning to evening. So being children, what they should do? They should go to school. They should study something. They should come back from the school. They should go out with their friends. They should play for some time. At least 1.5 hours, each and every child should play. Is that happening for these children? In the 18th centuries in England, it's not happening for them. They had to go to coal mines. They had to work from morning to evening. So the children says that they are very weary. They are very tired. They lost all the strength after a day's work. And we cannot run or leap. Now we are unable to run. We are unable to jump like other children. So their situation is very pathetic, isn't it? If we cared for any meadows, if we cared for any meadows, if we see any meadows, if we want to go to meadows, why do you people go to meadows? You people go to meadows to play different kinds of games, isn't it? So these children also have the desire, the wish to go to meadows and play. But they go to meadows, it were only to drop down in them and sleep. So they are very tired. If they see any meadows, they will just drop down and sleep. That's what's happening. But when you go to a meadow, is that happening? You will just drop down and sleep? No, you will play different kinds of games there with your friends. Maybe with your family. You will set up a small tent. You will cook nice food. You will eat your food. You will enjoy your holidays. Isn't it? But these children, when they care for any meadows, when they go to any meadows, they feel like dropping down and have a sleep. Why? Because they are very tired. They cannot jump. They cannot run. Their situation is entirely different from you people. To drop down in them and sleep. Our knees tremble sorely in the stooping. See how the children are working. See that picture. Their knees tremble. Tremble, it means shake or shiver. Their knees tremble sorely in a painful manner in the stooping. You see how hard they are working. They are bending forward, stooping. When they are bending forward, their knees tremble, their knees shake or shiver sorely in a painful manner. They might have got injuries. Their knees might have got injuries. You can see in this picture how hard they work. Are you people doing any work like this? Will your parents allow you to do some works like this? No, they won't. They will never ask you to do some work like the children doing in this picture. But during that period, what happened is that they have to work very hard. You look at their face. Is that bright? No, their faces are not at all bright. You could see the pitiable situation of the children in the picture. So the children are telling that our knees tremble, our knees shakes or shivers sorely with pain in the stooping when we are bending our body down and moving forward. So the situation is very dangerous for them. We fall upon our faces trying to go. We fall upon our faces and trying to go. We wanted a change as we have been working from morning to evening. We fall upon our faces whenever we finish our work. What we feel, we fall upon our faces and trying to make a move. And underneath our heavy eyelids drooping, you could see they are feeling very tired. Their eyelids are drooping, are just going to close. Like after a day's work, they wanted to have a sleep. But are they getting enough sleep there? No, they aren't getting enough sleep because their eyelids are drooping. They wanted to have a sleep for almost 7 to 8 hours, but it's not happening. Early in the morning, maybe 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, the employers, they will call them for the day's work. So they don't have any rest. They are not getting enough food. They are not getting enough sleep. So the situation is very, very horrible for the children during that period. If you compare yourself with those children, you are leading a life which is much better than them. You are in a paradise and they were in a hell, isn't it? Yes. Underneath our heavy eyelids drooping, so their eyelids are not soft. They are heavy, they're drooping down. They desperately needed to have a better sleep, but they are not getting it. The reddest flower would look as pale as snow. See here, the reddest flower. It refers to an active, energetic, and what we can say strong child. The reddest flower here in this poem, it refers to an active child. Even the active child look as pale as snow here. So the child may be strong, child may be very energetic, child may be very active, but even the reddest flower, even the active child, his face looks as pale as snow. It is not bright. It is not lively. His face is not active. So children, those who had been working from morning to evening, will their faces be bright? No. Will their faces be active? No. So here the reddest flower, it refers to an active child, but an active child also looks like very pale. Pale, it means less bright. For all day, we drag our burden tiring. So for all day, throughout the day, we drag our burden tiring. It means tiring. What do you mean by tiring? Tired, tiring, boring. So for all day, we have to do this boring work. We drag our burden tiring. It means every day they will have to go ahead with this boring work. And you could say a child carrying a lot of stones on his head. Have you seen? Will you be able to do such a work at this age? Maybe if you are a grown up, you could do something like this. But at this age, at the age of 9, 10, 11, 12, you may not be able to do that, isn't it? Still in North Indian states, in our country itself, in North India, we could see a lot of children working. But in South India, we don't have much problems regarding this, isn't it? For all day, we drag our burden tiring. Through the cold, dark underground, you could see somebody is mining coal there. Coal mines are there. So through the cold, dark underground, these children are working underground. So how is that place? It is very dark. You could see a child carrying something on his head, coals on his head, and he is moving to the ground. So it is a very tiring and boring work. Children must not be in such a situation. Being a child, you should go to the school, you should study, you should get a good job. But these children, they are unable to go to school, they are unable to study, they are unable to get a good sleep, they are unable to get good food. For all day, we drive the wheels or iron. You could see, for all day, we drive the wheels or iron. They had to do a lot of hard work, which involves a lot of physical activity. Would you like to do some physical activities, physical work? At this age, you may not be able to, and you won't wish to as well. But here, the children, they are forced to do these kinds of works in the factories round and round. So they had to work in the factories round and round. You could see some children, those who are working in factories from morning to evening, and every day they have to work like this. Okay, so this is all about the poem. It's a very small poem, isn't it? A very, very small poem. So once again, let us revise this poem. Let's start from the beginning once again. Those who didn't understand, listen very carefully. For oh, say the children, we are weary. So this is the lesson about the children, those who are working in coal mines. As I said in the past, in England, there were a lot of children, they were deployed in factories to work very hard. So this is a kind of physical work that usually should and must be done by elders. But during that era, the employers, they forced the children to do such kind of heavy physical works. For oh, say the children, we are weary. It means we are very tired and we cannot run or leap. So being children, you should run, you should jump, isn't it? But they cannot run, they cannot jump. If we cared for any meadows, they wanted to go to the meadows to play. But here, for these children, it were merely to drop down in the mud sleep. They wanted just to drop down and have a nice sleep, as they are not getting good sleep at night. So they may be going to the bed at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And their employers, they will call you back to work at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Our knees tremble sorely in the stooping. So when they are bending forward, when they are dragging something that wheels, when they are moving that wheels forward, their knees tremble, shakes, or shivers sorely in a painful manner in the stooping, in the bending. We fall upon our faces trying to go. We fall upon our faces, even though we have to move forward, we have to carry that wheels forward. And underneath our heavy eyelids drooping, we feel like sleeping. Our heavy eyelids, they wanted to have a sleep. It's drooping, it's falling downwards. The reddest flower would look as pale as snow. Even the very active child, he looked as pale as snow. His face is also not bright. Even the strongest, the active, the energetic child, his face looks like snow, looks like very pale as snow. For all day, we drag our burden tiring. So all day we have to go ahead with this tiring, boring work. It's completely a burden for these children. Through the cold, dark underground, they are working in the cold, dark underground. You could see the place they work. The heat may be the climate may be very hot underground. So they have to work very hard in the underground. Or all day we drive the wheels or iron. So we have to drive the wheels or iron. You could see the wheels here. So see here, this kind of a vehicle they have to drag, they have to move it forward. See, this is the situation for the child. Situation of the child in the 18th centuries in England. So children were asked or forced to work very hard through the cold dark, or all day we drive the wheels of iron in the factories round and round. It doesn't stop. So after a day's work, they will have to continue their work in the next day as well. Okay, fine. I hope you all have your textbooks with you, isn't it? So let's go through the questions and answers once. Okay, what is the first question? What kind of places are the children working in? What kind of places are the children working in? So what may be the answer? The children are working as laborers. The children are working as laborers in factories and coal mines. In factories and coal mines. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The reddest flower would look as pale as snow. The reddest flower would look as pale as snow. What does the phrase reddest flower refer to? Why does it become pale? The reddest flower would look as pale as snow. What does the phrase reddest flower refer to? Why does it become pale? The phrase reddest flower refers to an energetic, active, and young child. The phrase reddest flower refers to an energetic, active, and young child. And he looks pale. He looks pale. Why? Because he is tired of heavy work. Because he is tired of heavy work. So that is the second answer. Let's move on to the third question. How does the work affect the children? The work affects the children very badly, isn't it? When children are engaged in work, when children are engaged in work, it will affect their health and career, isn't it? It will affect their health and career. When they have been working from morning to evening, and when they are not provided good food, it will definitely affect their health. As they are working in factories, they are unable to go to school for their studies, so it will affect their career as well. They are tired with the heavy work, whereas they have to play all the time. Actually the children, they should be playing, but are they able to play here? They are not able to play here, so instead they are working very hard in the factories. They will behave like machines as well. Okay, this is the answer. How does the work affect the children? So that is the third question. And let's go through the fourth question. Do children enjoy their lives when engaged in work? Will you people enjoy your lives when you are engaged in work? No, you may not be. You must not be. No, the children do not enjoy their lives when engaged in work. Their playtime is robbed off. They are losing their playtime. Being a child, he should go to school. As I said earlier, he should go to school. He should mingle with his friends. He should play in the evening. He should do his homework. He should chat with his friends. He should find some time for some other activities. So the children, those who are working in coal mines and factories, they are not at all getting any time to do these kinds of activities, isn't it? So the children, they are not at all enjoying their life. The children, those who are working in factories and coal mines, they are not at all enjoying their life. Okay, see the fifth question. If the poem were written from the point of view of a factory owner, what kind of things would he say about the children? If the poem were written from the point of view of a factory owner, what kind of things would he say about children? The factory owner would say that these children, they are eating all the time, they are not working hard, isn't it? The factory owner would say like that only. Even though the children, they are working very hard, they are doing a lot of work from morning to evening, the owner would say that they are simply eating a lot and not doing any work. The factory owner will force them to do more work as well. Maybe after 5 o'clock also the factory owner wanted them to stay there and do some more work. Maybe he will force them to do work until 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. They will never be happy. Okay, what is the sixth question? What is the poet's attitude towards child labor? Pick out the words or expressions that reveal her attitude. Her attitude, it means Elizabeth Barrett Browning's attitude. See here, students. Elizabeth Barrett Browning expresses her concern for the children who are made to work in factories. Always, she has a sympathy towards them. She feels very sad about the situation of the children, those who are working in factories and coal mines. She wanted a change there. She wanted each and every child to send it to the schools. They should study hard. They should obtain a good job. They should lead a life which is much better than they had then. And the second part of the question, pick out the words or expressions that reveal her attitude. You see, there are many expressions in that poem. See there. We are weary. We are weary. That expression, it shows that the children are very tired. So that is one expression. We cannot run or leave. The children, they cannot run, they cannot jump. And one another, find out from the poem. Our knees tremble, our knees are shaking or shivering. One another expression. Check through the poem. We fall upon our faces. We fall upon our faces when we drag the bottom tiring, when we drag the four wheels moving forward. They fall upon their faces. That is another expression. Our heavy eyelids drooping. Say, our heavy eyelids drooping. All day we drive the wheels. So these are the expressions that shows the emotions the poetess have in this poem. So the poetess Elizabeth Barrett Browning, she wanted a social change. She wanted to fight against child labor. That is why she has written this poem. She needs exactly a social change. She wanted the children to be sent to the schools. They wanted them to obtain a job. They wanted she wanted them to have a good job. So this is all about this poem. Okay, hope you all understood what is meant by this poem. So in 18th century, the situation in England was entirely different. The children were deployed in the factories to work hard in coal factories, coal mines and factories. By seeing their difficulties, by seeing their dangerous situation, the poetess Elizabeth Browning has written something about the children and it is noticed by the government then. So this poem was noticed by the government then and the government understood the situation of the children and they had taken some necessary steps to avoid child labor. Okay, hope you all understood the lesson well. And I want you to write this poem as a paragraph. I want you all to write this poem as a paragraph. You can make a 2 or 3 paragraphs. That is your homework. Okay. Did you understand what I said? So this is a poem. Whatever is given in this poem or whatever I explained today, you just make it as a paragraph. That is what I need. I hope you all do it. And this is the end of this session. And thank you all. Wait for the next session to start. Okay.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Shanvi Learning Services. Welcome to Biology Science class, lesson number 2, Cell, the basic unit of life. Please stand line, all of you. Okay. Let us recall observation of the nucleus in cheek cell. Observation of nucleus in cheek cell and what precautions we should follow, how to do that activity. So observe clearly, all of you. See here, you could also take cells from the inner layer of the cheek. Inner layer of the cheek. Please stand line, all of you. So here we need a sample here, cheek. So you could also take cells from the inner layer of the cheek, stain them with a safranin or methylene blue and try to observe the nucleus in them using microscope. Now let us compare the onion and the cheek cells. See here, we had observed last session observation of the nucleus in onion peel cells. See here, for this you need to peel a membrane. How to peel the membrane? How told you in last class? From an onion one. And after that, you have to keep that membrane on a slide. You have to collect a thin sliced membrane. You have to keep on a slide and add 1 to 2 drops of the stain, safranin or methylene blue or red ink. I have told you here by using this methylene blue or red ink, we can highlight. Okay, we can highlight that particular sample for if you are going to observe. Please stand line. Okay. Here we are using here methylene blue, safranin or red ink. If you use any sample which consists different cells, different parts, to highlight that, we have to use these stains, colors. See here, cover this with a cover slip and leave it for about 5 minutes. We have to cover that particular sample with cover slip and leave it for about 5 minutes. Then add water drop, okay, drop wise from one side of the cover slip while removing the extra water with a filter paper from the other side. See here, drop by drop wise from one side you have to add water drops of the cover slip while removing the extra water with a filter paper from the other side. Extra water we have to remove with a filter paper from other side. This will help in washing away the extra stain because we have used the stain on the particular sample. If the stain is dominated, then we could not see the proper image under the microscope. So that particular gaps will be filled fully with color. So we cannot identify the particular target. Okay. So if you feel the stain is more, then we have to remove the stain by this way. What that way? You have to add water drop wise from one side of the cover slip while removing the extra water with a filter paper. So like that in that float, so automatically the excess of a stain will be removed. Okay. So from for example, from one side you are pouring like you are adding water drop wise, then other side you have to like remove the extra water with a filter paper. Okay, so in that float slowly, not it is a float, just drop by drop it can come out on the other side, and by that way in that flow, just that particular color stain which is you feel extra can be removed. Here, this will help in washing away the extra stain. If you feel you have used extra stain, then this process by adding drop by drop one side and by same way we have to remove that particular water with a filter paper. From this side we are adding the drop by drop, this side we are removing the water. So in that flow automatically that excess of stain will be removed. Okay, what is the use of this? This will help in washing away the extra stain. Now observe the slide under the microscope. Observe the slide under a microscope. Here, look at a screen. On the screen, that microscopic view is there. Figure number 7. Onion cell showing nucleus. It is stained or not? Yes, stained exactly, because here we are getting that blue color dots. Blue color dots. We have stained that. We have stained the slide. That's why the particular nucleus parts are looking especially with blue color. Why we need to use stain here? Because to highlight that blue, to highlight that nucleus and cell walls, we have used that color. So by that, we can observe clearly under the microscope that particular figure and that particular nucleus and arrangements. Because here that everything, the particular part is look like similar, same plane. We could not identify the particular borders and nuclear dots in that plain color. To identify that perfectly, to observe that perfectly, we have to use stain, we have to use color. Okay, don't pour total bucket of color. Okay, just drop or 2 drops. If you feel extra stain, just you have to remove that extra color by this way. I have told you just now how to remove the extra stain. So this is stain. That's why we are able to observe. We are able to observe clear image in onion. The cells are showing nucleus. Cells showing nucleus. Stained. It is colored. The sample is colored. Sample is colored. That's why here that particular nucleus is looking like so beautiful with a blue color because it is stained. If it is not stained, we cannot observe properly. Okay, children? So here figure number 7, onion cell showing nucleus. Look at the screen, all of you. Figure. Now, see here, this particular blue part, I am showing you with pen on the screen, that particular blue dots are nucleus. What is this? It is nucleus. Okay. Next, this total jelly-like fluid. Okay. That fluid is cytoplasm. What that is? Cytoplasm. Okay. The first one is a nucleus. which is in blue color, it means just we have stained to highlight that. Okay, na? Don't think it is a blue color. Just we have stained that to get a highlight observation. Blue color dots are stained, like stained dots. Those are nucleus, which are present in onion cells. Onion cell. Next, around the nucleus, jelly-like fluid is there. That is a cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Okay. Then you can observe here border lines. Okay. I'm showing you like here by taking one example. See here, not only this, all, okay. Particular is cell wall, okay. So here we had observed under the microscope by collecting the sample from onion bulb, okay. We have followed that as usual what we have followed in that last activities, and we have placed that particular slide in that microscope and observed carefully by taking precautions. Okay, here we have added just a stain to get highlighted that particular part which is observing. Okay, so here nucleus is present, and around the nucleus jelly-like fluid is there, that is cytoplasm, and which is covered with a border line. The line is a cell wall. So we have seen here cell wall, cytoplasm, nucleus, cytoplasm, cell wall. Okay, this figure number 7, onion cell showing nucleus. It is stained, it is colored. Okay, next. Please stand line, all of you. Okay. Now, the blue or red spot observed within the cell is the nucleus, as we have discussed. See, blue, here blue color. We have used blue color, no? So you just consider blue. Blue spot observed within the cell is the nucleus. Now, let us see the nucleus in our own cell. Okay, we had observed up to now the nucleus in plant cell, right? So onion is belongs to plant, no? So plant cell. Now, I'm eagerly waiting to observe my cell. Okay, so all are comes under animal category, right? So now let us observe cell in animal. Okay, animal cells. So here observation of the nucleus in cheek cell. Okay, you could also take cells from the inner layer of the cheek. Okay, your cheek inner layer. But here you have to use follow precautions here, otherwise you may get hearted while scraping that, while you are correcting that particular sample from your cheek. Okay, here inner layer of the cheek, stain them with a saffronin or methylene blue, as we have done in activity 4. Why we need to stain? To get highlighted the particular part. To get highlighted for particular part, the nucleus or whatever it may be. To get a highlight, we have to stain that. Otherwise, it will be look same in some samples. So we could not find the particular like variations in between nucleus and borderline, like cell wall and cytoplasm. Here also we have to stain that. That's why here mentioned figure number 8, just to check cheek cells showing the nucleus in bracket stained. We have to mention compulsory stained because it is not in that blue color. To get highlight that particular structure, we have used that stain, that we have used that color. Okay, stain them with a saffronin or methylene blue. These all are stains which is suitable for that. And try to observe the nucleus in them using microscope, because that is micro particle. You cannot see with our naked eye. That's why we have to use here microscope to observe the arrangement of cell. Okay. Now let us compare the onion. Sorry. Now let us compare the onion and the cheek cell. Onion and the cheek cell. Cheek cells showing a nucleus. Here, figure number 8. See, simply you have to take one scalpel blade or like very smooth one, plastic one. Don't use metals, and scrap that particular, and you have to collect the particular part layer. You take any one small piece and put on the slide as usual. Just add 1 drop of water. Next, you have to stain that. If you feel excess stain, you have to remove the stain by adding one side a drop of water and by removing that other side with tissue paper. After staining that, you have to cover with a cover sleeve. Then observe under the microscope. You will get the image, clear image, like figure number 8, cheek cell showing nucleus. It is stained. Now here, in before activity, we had observed cells in onion, right? Now we are observed cells in animal. So that is a plant, this is an animal. Let us compare the plant cell and animal cell, like onion cell and a cheek cell. Cheek cell belongs to animal cell, onion belongs to plant, right? So here, what structures are observed in the cells? First question is what? What structures are observed in the cells? You just think and write. By comparing both, what structures you are observed in the cells? Did you see a tiny dark stained body in all the cells? The second question is, did you see a tiny dark stained body in all the cells? Next, third one, are they located in the center in both the cell? Are they located in the center in both the cell? Next one, what is the difference between boundary of onion cell and a cheek cell? Okay, these are the questions in front of you. Just compare onion and cheek cell and present your answers. Now, the outer layer of a cheek cell is the cell membrane. What is the cell membrane? Outer layer of the cheek cell is a cell membrane. Okay, I will show you. Right here, this is cell membrane. Okay, what is cell membrane? Outer layer. The outer layer of a cheek cell is the cell membrane. I will show you. Please look at the screen, all of you. See, this is the outer layer. Outer layer. Okay, look at the screen. Outer layer of a cheek cell is the cell membrane. This gives a shape to the cell, right? Like our skin. This gives a shape to the cell and selectively allows substances to pass through it. Selectively. If it's needed, it can allow the particles, it can allow the things from outside. If there is no need of that, then it will stop that. It will not allow always. Okay. So, what is the cell membrane? Cell membrane is nothing but just the outer layer of cheek cell is the cell membrane. What is the use of this? This gives a shape to the cell. See here. This is given a shape. Outer layer given a shape. Cell membrane given a shape. For who? For cell. For to the cell. And selectively allows substances to pass through it. Selectively allow the substances. If substance needed inside, then that will allow. Otherwise, that will stop. It will not allow always. Selectively, it can allow. Selectively means when it's needed inside only, that can allow. Otherwise, it will stop. Who? Cell membrane layer, outside layer, outer layer. If it's allow always when needed or not needed, so this is not a selectively. But here, when that needed only, it is allowing the substances from out to in to out. So that is a selectively. Selectively allows substances to pass through it. In and out of the cell. In and out. When it's when the substances in or when substances out also, when it's compulsory, need to remove the things, any substances from inside, at that time only it can allow to go out. If there is a no need of that removing that particular substances from it, then that will close, that will not allow. So this is a selective process. When it's needed, it can allow. Okay. Selectively allows substances to pass through it in and out of the cell. About on the other hand, in the cells of the onion cheeks, cells of the onion peel, the outer covering is clear than in cheek cells. Okay. See here comparison. About this, you will learn more in higher classes. Okay. On the other hand, in the cells of the onion peel, the outer covering is clearer. Okay, now. So here, the outer covering is clearer. Where the cells of the onion peel, in cells of the onion peel, the outer covering, cells of the onion peel, outer covering is clearer than in cheek cell. What is clearer than in cheek cell? The outer covering. See, just look at the screen, all of you. Here, this outer lining is not looking properly. Okay, I will show you. I'll go back and show you that. Okay. Now just you observe here. Just you observe here. See here, cell wall. In onion cells showing nucleus, cell wall. Here outer layer, this is outer layer. This is outer layer. This is also outer layer. This is also outer layer. So here we can see outer layer very clearly. Where? In onion. Okay, please look at the screen, all of you. You can see outer layer very clearly here. But what about in human cheek cell? Of course it is there. Okay, but it is not looking very clear compared to onion. So here the cells of the onion peel, the outer covering is very clearer than in cheek cells. So it is because there is another layer present over the cell membrane known as the cell wall. Yes. See clearly, observe carefully here. The outer covering is clearer than in cheek cell. But see here, observe carefully. On the other hand, in the cells of the onion peel, the outer covering is clearer than in cheek cell. Clearer than in cheek cell. It is because there is another layer present over the cell membrane known as cell wall. As you know, the great difference in between plants and an animal cell is cell wall. Okay, the cell wall is present in plant cell but absent in animal cell. So in animal cell only one layer only there, outer layer, that layer only cell membrane. In cheek cell, the cell membrane only can perform all functions which are done by cell wall and cell membrane in plant cell. In plant cell, there is cell wall and cell membrane both are present, but both functions, what they are involving, what they are doing, that all functions can be done by cell membrane in cheek cell, because here there is no cell wall. Single cell layer is there here. Okay. Next. All of you, please look at the screen. Okay. In both the cells, you can find a dense round body. Dense round body called a nucleus. In cheek cells, the nucleus is present more or less at the center of the cell. Whereas in onion cells, it is not in the center. It is not in the center. Let us observe once. See. All of you look at the screen, please. What is the position of nucleus in onion peel cell? It is not exactly center. Okay. Look at the skin. But when you go for that human cheek cell, it is almost all in center, middle, or nearer to center. Okay, the nucleus is present in center or nearer to center. Okay, so that only given here. In both cells, you can find a dense round body called the nucleus. In cheek cells, the nucleus is present in cheek cells. In human, like cheek cells, in animal cell, the nucleus is present more or less at the center of the cell. More or less at the center of the cell. Whereas in onion cells, it is not in the center. I have shown just now, it is not in the center. In some cells like a side, okay, in some cells, some right side like left side, not in the exactly center. But towards periphery, it's not into the center, but towards the periphery. Okay. The jelly-like substance between the nucleus, the jelly-like substance, as I have told you, which is present between the nucleus and the cell membrane. For example, just you feel this is a cell membrane, in middle dart-like structure is there, a middle and side. In plant cell that will be inside, but in animal cell it will be in middle. Then the jelly-like fluid, the substance is present in this, in between layer and center. Okay, inside. Okay. The jelly-like substance between the nucleus and the cell membrane. Between the nucleus and the cell membrane is called a cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Here, you can listen one new word. It is a heterogeneous material. Here you have to know what is a homogeneous and what is a heterogeneous. Okay. See here also you can ask your teacher why it is called as heterogeneous. Before you asking, I am only making question. Okay. So next slide I will give clear about that what is heterogeneous and homogeneous. So it contains membrane bond structure. Membrane bond structure is called cell organelles. Cell organelles. The cell organelles as well as more complex chemicals. Cell organelles help to carry out several functions. Who will carry the several functions? Cell organelles. Okay. For example, the parts which are present in the cell is cell organelles. I will tell some examples like mitochondria, chloroplast, okay, and Golgi complex, vacuole, okay, etc. These all are cell organelles. Okay, for plant and animal side, some of, okay. So, see here, cell organelles help to carry out several functions within the cell, and you will study them in class 9th. Clearly about the differentiation in between animal cell and plant cell, clearly you can know in 9th class. Okay? Here, I will tell you, you shall also study why cells are considered to be the basic structural and functional unit of the living body. As you know, cells, nothing but the basic structural and functional units. Cell is the basic unit of life, basic unit of life, structural and functional units of the life. Okay. Now, I will give idea about that heterogeneous. A new word for you. So, what is heterogeneous? What is a homogeneous? Please listen carefully. It can help you for in chemistry also, physics. Okay, physical chemistry. Here, heterogeneous term starts that. Look at here, Vaishnavi. Look at the screen. Okay. Here I am going to tell about heterogeneous. Heterogeneous is a word which has come in here, like it is heterogeneous material. Which is heterogeneous material? Cytoplasm. The cytoplasm, jelly-like fluid which is present in between nucleus and cell membrane. Nucleus and cell membrane, that is called cytoplasm. It is a heterogeneous material. Why it is heterogeneous material? I will tell you now. Okay. So what is heterogeneous, sir? Heterogeneous term states that there must be two or more different phases in the system. Okay. What is the heterogeneous terms? The term states that there must be two or more different phases in the system, such as liquid, solid, or liquid and gas. Whatever may be any two stages. Right. So such as liquid, solid and gas. Cytoplasm is a system that is composed of other tiny macromolecules. Micro means very small. Macro means little bigger. In that small view only, micro, macro. Micro means very, very small. Macro means little bigger. Okay. If possible, please note this. Okay. Heterogeneous term states that there must be two or more different phases in the system, such as liquid, solid, and gas. Cytoplasm is the system that is composed of other tiny macromolecules. Tiny macromolecules which are called cell organelles and water. Okay. Cytoplasm is the system that is composed of other tiny macromolecules. In that small view only, micro very, very small. Macro little bigger. Because we don't think like this much bigger. It's just in simple view only bigger. Macro molecules, which are called cell organelles and water. Here, see, organelles and water. Here, water is in liquid state, right? Water is in liquid state or solid state? Here, water. We did not use ice. The word of ice. Okay, here we have used water. So water is in liquid. What is the phase of the water? Liquid state. Whereas tiny macromolecules, here two phases are there. Okay, one side a tiny macromolecules and one side water. Water is in liquid state, whereas tiny macromolecules which are called cell organelles are solid. For example, Golgi complex, it is a solid. Okay. So, whereas tiny macromolecules which are called cell organelles, the cell organelles are solid, but water is in liquid state. So here, as we discussed about the heterogeneous term, what that it starts that there must be two or more different phases in the system, such as liquid, solid, and gas. Here we can observe two cell organelles and water. Cytoplasm is a system that is composed of other tiny macromolecules which are called cell organelles and water. Here, water is in liquid state. What about the tiny macromolecules which are called cell organelles? Those are in solid state. So we can see here solid state and liquid state. Water is in liquid state, cell organelles in solid state. So that's why it is considered, it is to be considered as a heterogeneous. Heterogeneous. Because in this you can see two different phases. If possible, two or more, but here we have seen two different phases. Okay. In some, we can see solid, gas, water, for example. Okay, but here the concept is system, that particular phases, liquid state, solid state, and gas. But here we have seen already two different. Here, second line, just to check, must be two or more different phases. Here we have seen here two different phases, such as liquid, water, macrocell organelles, solid. Then enough. This reason is enough to say that particular cytoplasm is heterogeneous because it has two different phases. Those are water is in liquid state and macromolecules or like organelles are solid state or in solid state, right? Please look at the screen, all of you. Hence, see here, hence cytoplasm is considered as heterogeneous. See here, heterogeneous. Observe this. Okay. So because of this reason, what reason behind of that? Two or more different phases should be. Here we have seen two different phases such as water in liquid state and cell organelles are in solid state. So because of this reason, cytoplasm is considered as a heterogeneous material as it comprises of cell organelles and water. As it comprises of cell organelles, solid state, and water, liquid state. Did you get that? If possible, take a screenshot, okay? And write in your textbook to get idea. To get an idea. Now, let us go for next slide. Please stand line, all of you. Now, the topic is diversity in cells. Diversity in cells. What are the differentiations we can see in cells? Diversity in cells. In onion peel cells, you have seen that nearly all cells are similar. Okay. We are here, I am talking about onion peel, children. Plant onion peel, okay. So in onion peel cells, you have seen that nearly all cells are similar in structure and shape. In onion peel, cells are nearly similar in structure and shape. If you repeat this experiment with peels of onion of different size, what do you think your observation would be? Okay. Does bigger onions have bigger cells? Okay, now you should concentrate on this. In onion peel, cells, you have seen nearly all cells are similar, right? Similar in what? Here, not number. Similar in shape and size. Sorry, structure and shape. Similar in structure and shape. If you repeat this same experiment with peels of onions of different sizes, bigger size, medium size, small size, what do you think your observation would be? Okay, what do you think your observation would be? Does bigger onions have bigger cells? Medium onions have medium cells. Small onions have small cells. See children here, there are millions of living organisms in nature. They have different shape and sizes and vary in the number of cells they contain. There are millions of living organisms in nature, right? They have different shapes and size and vary in the number of cells also. Vary in the number of cells they contain. To know more about this, let us observe some more cells by taking some more examples. You will observe permanent slides of amoeba. I will show you the amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas figures. See here, these all are comes under unicellular children. Very, very important one. Here, you may get in exam these type of questions like please draw and label the diagram of unicellular organisms. You can take these all as examples. Amoeba, AMOEB, amoeba, chlamydomonas like that. There are millions of living organisms in nature. They have different shape, size and vary in the number of cells they contain. To know more about this, we can read about this. To get more information about that, we have to observe some more cells. You will observe permanent slides. Permanent slides will be no need to prepare every time, children. Which slides no need to prepare every time, that is permanent slide. Once you use, you can keep it safely, and the next generation also can be used that. Next class. For example, you have used this slide, then next your juniors also can be used. No need to prepare every time. That is a permanent slide. Here we have permanent slides also in your laboratory. If you observe the permanent slides of amoeba, see pronunciation amoeba, not amoeba. Amoeba, paramecium, and chlamydomonas. Spelling PARAMOECIEUM, paramecium. Chlamydomonas, CHLAMYDOMONAS. All are unicellular organisms. The chapter on microorganisms you will get is all. All these are single celled and are called unicellular organisms. As you know, uni means single. Because this amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium consists single cell. BL Ryan, please look at the screen and concentrate here. Chlamydomonas, paramecium, amoeba, these all are consisting single cell. That's why those are comes under unicellular organisms. Very, very important. Uni means single. In these the cells, the single cell is capable of performing all the life processes like obtaining food, respiration, excretion, growth and reproduction. What about multicellular organism? Human being is a multicellular organism. We can see the division of labor because many cells are present in our body. So division of labor, some of cells can do so, can perform one function and other cells can perform other function. But here there is no chance to involve in the division of labor because here it consists only single cell. That's why the single cell only can perform all the functions. Single cell only can perform the all the life processes. What are the life process can be performed by single cell in the unicellular organisms? Like obtaining food. That's also one of the life process. Respiration, that's the life process. Excretion, growth and reproduction. These all are done by single cell because there is no division of labor. There is no other cells to do these all activities to perform all life processes. Okay, children, as time up, I am going to wind up the session. Thank you, Varandal. Next class, let us observe very beautiful slides related to unicellular. Okay, thank you, Varandal.